Liam's point that the ideal Manchester United manager is now managing Manchester City.
Yes, if you want to continue the tradition, and Liam, at the time Mourinho joined United, Liam said it publicly. He said it on the TV and RTE.
Said it on your podcast.
Irish Examiner, which used to be the Cork Examiner. But Liam was right. They're a bad fit. The problem was, and football is so much about politics, and so many guys trying to manipulate the fans and manipulate public opinion. They needed a marquee coach. Mm-hmm. And he needed a marquee club. There was no coach other than him.
Yeah.
And there was no club other than United. Bobby Charlton, who John knows very well, and indeed I know myself not so well. John played with Bobby. But Bobby is a fantastic man. And he went public on Mourinho several years ago. He said, I wouldn't like him to come here. Because Mourinho had always expressed the aspiration, when Ferguson was in charge, to manage Manchester United. And Bobby Charlton said no. But it was a marriage of convenience, and it was anyway.
Just
No, it always ends badly.
Just coming back to what you said before, I mean, with this team you won't. They've got the best keeper in the league. In Matic, they've got the best centre or holding midfield in my eyes in the league.
Yeah.
They've got...
In 30-year-old Matic.
Well, they've got at the back, they've got it Smalling, Jones, Bailly. They've got 3 centre-backs or 4 where you can pick 2. Valencia's doing a job. Luke Shaw was a best young player. He was bought for 30 million. Yeah. Yes, he had a bad injury. Everybody wanted last summer.
Sanchez.
They bought Sanchez.
Yep.
They brought Mkhitaryan in, who was player of the season in Germany.
Yep.
You've got in Rashford probably the best young English player there.
Yep.
Mata is a World Cup winner.
Yep.
He's coming in the autumn of his career, but he does a job. Martial was bought for what, 60, 70 million? Yeah. He could have gone anywhere. So if you want to make people believe they've got a team of no-hopers, I slightly disagree with this.
Okay, I think there's a lot of Herrera. We'll get to the World Cup, by the way. Rojo, Herrera, Valencia, Ashley Young playing left back. Matic is a good grafter in midfield. Doesn't give the ball away, but it's not going to do any magic. Now, he really should have played young Rashford in his best position, which is centre forward, all season. And the difference, one of the differences between him and Guardiola has improved players. Let go. Mourinho also let Mo Salah go.
And Lukaku.
And Lukaku.
And Bertrand.
And Bertrand. But who's Bertrand? No.
That's best left back.
I know. No, but he has... this is the key. Guardiola is a fantastically inspirational figure for some people. But he... Certainly you can say without any Coutinho, he's improved Sterling.
De Bruyne spectacularly.
De Bruyne, Fernandinho, as I say. But, and I have to say this, Guardiola at Barcelona had a bad defence, a bad attitude. John was talking about balance when it comes to Liverpool and carriers.
No comparison,
Can I finish?
No comparison.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
I do know what you're going to say, because he never had any emphasis on defence. What
I'm going to say is Guardiola has no real interest in defence. Otherwise, Otamendi wouldn't be playing there. Fabian Delph is playing left back. They bought in Fabian Delph. He played left back all season.
Fragile,
Aston Villa player.
Yeah.
Delph.
And they have got a very good left back that they bought, unfortunately for Monaco, called Mendy. But he's a flying machine. He'll be up the wing all the time. He's got Walker as well, who he's improved immensely. He's unrecognisable from the player he was at Spurs. So he is, I think, we can say, an outstanding coach. But on the question of balance, his teams leak goals all the time. Don't forget, they lost 5-1 on aggregate to Liverpool.
The what, Eamon?
They lost 5-1
I know that.
On aggregate.
But look at the
Liverpool.
Excuse me. Said they leak goals all the time. They don't leak goals on them. They were the second less goal scorer all season.
You know, the last person who said that on the panel, I'm not saying you're a spoofer, It's,
well,
if you manage the best team in the country and you win the league you win the league by 20 points,
Yeah.
you're highly likely to have the fewest goals against you because they're camped in the opposition half for 80% possession.
But that's
Now,
what
just
he
let me
does.
finish.
Yeah, but that's what he does.
All right, let me ask you a question. At Barcelona
Bayern.
and Bayern, they both won the league comfortably and they had the lowest goals against. The same as Manchester City. The reason was they dominate games, they dominate the ball, and yes, they don't lead goals. But hold on. He paid 50 million for John Stones, who's useless. He can't get in the team. He wasn't in the team for the last 4 or 5 months of the season, but England will always save them, and he's gone with the England team. We see how he does against Belgium and Lukaku. But with Guardiola, it does not exist. Now, he should, if he wants to win the Champions League, as opposed to winning the Premier League again by 20 points, he's got to go out and buy decent defenders.
Well, hang on, Eamon. He won the Champions League twice with Barcelona.
He bought, there's another one, Danilo. Danilo. He bought him.
No, hang on.
He bought Danilo.
Answer the question.
Real Madrid's reserve team.
Hang on, never mind that. Forget Manchester City. With Barcelona, he had the same attitude. He won the Champions League.
He had Messi.
Hang on. It doesn't matter what he had.
Xavi.
Say, hang on.
Iniesta.
He won the Champions League twice.
Yeah.
Barcelona and all that. How did he win that? Then, if he hasn't got a balance of what he's doing.
I'll tell you how he won.
And how did he finish in the in the Premiership this season with the second best defensive record in the league?
I've already conceded to you that he's an outstanding coach, his team, and I think it isn't there.
Let Didi have
I think if you've got the best players in the world going forward, which they had Busquets as well, who was a holding midfielder, they had Iniesta, they had Xavi, Messi. Was Neymar there when they won the Champions League?
No.
He wasn't.
Puyol.
But Puyol at the back, and they had, who was playing up top?
Up front.
Well, Eto'o was a...
Etu.
Yeah.
Swede, what's his name?
So if you've got in Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi, you've got 3 of the 5 best players in the last 20 years. I think you can half neglect the defense, even though they had Busquets and they had Puyol, and they had an average goalkeeper before Ter Stegen came. He will never be able to assemble the quality going forward as he did in Barcelona. So unless my take is, unless he changes his philosophy to a certain extent.
He's at Manchester City, and that's what we're talking about. What he's done at Manchester
No, we're not.
City.
We're talking about
him.
him
The league
as a
by
coach.
X amount of points and done the various
But he's
things
not
he's
there
done.
to win the league. He's there to win the Champions League. And if
You've got to win the league first.
Okay.
He's only been there 2 years.
Yeah, but how long? He's never been at a club. I think he was in Munich.
He might have been at Barcelona a bit longer than 2 years before he won the Champions League.
Okay.
I mean, if they win the Champions League years, haven't won, then after that you can judge him.
My point
Not
is,
now.
if he doesn't change his philosophy to a certain extent, he won't win the Champions League with Manchester City because he won't be able to assemble the forwards and the quality going forward as he did at Barcelona.
Can I ask you a question?
We have to see that.
Can I ask you a question? What does he need to do to win the Champions League at Manchester City, in your opinion?
Okay, and hang on a minute.
Can you not answer the question?
Hang on, no, I'll answer the question to you.
Okay.
Right. Liverpool could have won the Champions League this year.
We
Right?
already
They had
covered.
Liverpool finished 20 points behind Manchester City.
Yeah.
But they could have won the Champions League. They could have won it, apart from the goalkeeper, right? Which Guardiola has a great goalkeeper, by the way. So he's not going to slip up if he gets the Champions League final and doing what he did.
What about the back four? What about the back four?
Well, what about the back four?
The defence?
Yeah, they conceded 20 goals less than Liverpool did.
So you're saying they're cool there, yeah?
But when they ran
Champions
into
League. Are you?
No.
You introduced the
Hang on.
concept of
I'm not-
balance.
I'm not saying-
and your first question.
I'm not saying.
You did. You
I'm
started
not-
talking about
hang on.
balance. I'm
not
asking
saying
where's
it's
the balance?
I'm
in
not
the-
saying it's
the Guardiola
perfect.
team?
I'm not saying it's perfect. But Liverpool almost won the European Cup. this year.
Liverpool. We're not talking about Liverpool. We're talking
No,
about
we're talking about the
Guardiola.
comparison between Liverpool and Manchester City.
Well, the point
I'm
in that,
not-
John, is
I'm not comparing Liverpool to
when,
Manchester
when
City.
Pep Guardiola came up against the team with the attacking ability of Liverpool,
Yeah.
he failed because his defensive ability wasn't.
And last year, Monaco.
Yeah, in 2 matches.
But if you're talking about consistency over the season, which I'm talking about now with Guardiola, I'm not saying Guardiola is perfect.
Yeah.
I think there should be more emphasis on what they're doing. But that's what he did. But as far as Liverpool's concerned, Liverpool had no emphasis on defending. They were defending worse than Man City, and they got to the Champions League final.
So when Manchester City came up against a team with the attacking capability of Liverpool, of which there is no other really team in the top tier in the Premier League that can attack like Liverpool, over two legs, Liverpool exploited Manchester City's
But how many teams have exploited Liverpool doing the same thing?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And Liverpool isn't where the bar is. Real Madrid is where the bar is. It's not Liverpool.
I think you'll find that if you look at Guardiola's record since he left Barcelona in the Champions League, it's very average.
Yeah.
For the teams that he's been coaching. Bayern Munich, they won the league easily, probably a record number. 3 semi-finals, and they got lost by quite a lot of goals, Didi.
5-0.
It's fair to say, John, that it is a weakness in his coaching, his ability to organise his defence.
Yeah, listen, Liam, I would admit that straight away. But what he's done with his philosophy over the years with Barcelona, and we said the same thing, he won two European Championships and that along the way. So it's not going to stop him, in my opinion, doing what he's done. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Well, I think the jury's still out in the Champions League.
Well, we'll wait and see. Well, how did Liverpool get to the final? Liverpool's defence is worse than Guardiola's.
Well, they got to the final by beating Man City 5-1.
Yeah, I know, but overall...
No, but I think it's not about a single position. I don't think it's about the keeper, John Stones or Fernandinho, whoever. I think it's the philosophy. And he believes in attacking football. And he had the best players. And now you can say, well, other managers would have won the Champions League with Messi in the end. This year, I think they got overrun and outrun by Liverpool in the first half, and Klopp got a very good record against Guardiola. Second half, if that disallowed goal stands, it may get a bit hairy and tight. We don't know.
Yeah.
But what's significant for me is the year before, they played against Monaco, and they took a 2-goal lead.
Yes.
They took a 2-goal lead to
I
Monaco.
remember it. Yeah.
Monaco had good players, but they weren't at the top of European football, and they weren't able to defend the 2-goal lead.
I agree with that.
And even though you say Liverpool nearly won, there's no nearly in football for me. And they almost won. There's no almost, John.
No, they didn't do it. But
No, they didn't do it. And City still, even if they had beat Liverpool, they still had to win another round.
Yeah,
and God knows what Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid would have done to Manchester City, because people hyped them. They said, the Premier League is the best league, which I'm not too sure it's the most competitive, even though it wasn't. There's other good teams in Europe. And even or only because they're 10 or 15 points ahead in the Premier League, people came to the conclusion they should be favourites for the Champions League, myself included. Yeah, but even I'm sometimes wrong. And and then obviously they lost the game to Liverpool, and they got beat in the final. So I think City's further away from winning it than people actually think.
Well, I've no doubt about that. I'm not saying they're going to win it next year. But if you look at they've been there for 2 seasons, right? He's been there for 2 seasons. And he didn't get through to the Champions League this year. But if you look at the improvement he's made over the 2 seasons, and Eamon would agree, the players that he's improved, Giles, Walker, all these players, he's only been there for 2 years. But he's won the League Cup this year, and he's run away and beaten everybody and conceded the second less goals against in the Premiership. Now, I would agree with Eamon. I think there should be more emphasis on the defendant, but it hasn't. But that's the record.
Well, let's see, John. Let's see what he does this summer. Alderweireld, who's one of the best defenders in Europe, Spurs want to get rid of him because he's complaining about his wages. Vertonghen is... Hold on, can I finish the sentence?
He might get them, Eamon, or somebody like them,
There's no sign whatsoever that he has any intention of buying a proper centre defender. They bought a load of rubbish.
At the moment.
For a lot of money.
At the moment. We don't know what goes through his head. He might buy more defenders. We don't know. But what he's done in 2 years, right? He's only been 2 seasons there. Mourinho came with
money they spent, $1 billion.
That doesn't matter. I don't care about the money they spent.
That's what I'm saying. It's not only about the players. He bought Mangala, he bought Otamendi.
Yeah.
They've got still company. They can't all
Danilo.
players.
There's no Man City supporters in the room. Move on.
Liam,
If you commit,
Okay.
If you commit 7 plays forward,
We're going to get on to the World Cup in just a minute, but I have to ask you.
Change the subject. That's
Yeah.
what,
No,
that's
I
what
think
you're saying.
Liam should be. I think Liam should decide. John's case is, it's complete love. My case is
complete love.
My
Hang on,
case is,
I'll speak
and
for
it's
myself.
unrequited as well.
I think I'm
my case is
No.
that he's a fascinating character, a fascinating coach. He does improve players, but there's a gaping gap where there should be a defence. That's my case. That's all it is.
If you don't mind, Eamon, I'll speak for myself. Right, you tell me what I think of Guardiola
Move on.
has been brilliant, and I want to move on.
I want to move on.
Right, okay.